Well, hello, welcome to our continuing Bible devotional. We're currently in Ephesians chapter 4, and we're going to be picking it up at verse 15, where the Apostle Paul continues to describe how God has equipped the church for the common goal of growing to become more like Jesus. He's talked about the different giftings, the different leadership positions, and how we should understand those things. And then he begins to conclude this section in verses 15 and 16 by talking about how it is that all of us grow as Christians. How do we grow? Not talking about how do we numerically grow, but how do we spiritually grow as Christians? Well, he tells us that in verses 15 and 16 of Ephesians 4, which tell us this. Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, with each part, when each part is working properly, makes the body grow so that it builds itself up in love. So he talks about a few things here that are essential to a healthy church, essential to spiritual growth. One is we have to speak the truth. We cannot compromise with the world. We can't be sharing man's opinions. We have to share the truth. There's one reason I do these devotionals. There's one reason we emphasize verse-by-verse teaching here at Calvary Chapel. It's not the only right way to do things, but it's the emphasis is on we got to get the truth out. God's word is truth. Jesus himself said that in the high priestly prayer in John 17. Your word is truth. We must speak the truth. Nobody can grow and become more like Christ unless they're getting the truth into their life. But when we speak the truth, we don't speak it from a self-righteous, condemning, unsympathetic mindset or attitude. We speak the truth in love. Our goal is to help others. Even when we confront people, maybe with sin or struggles, we do so with the spirit of humility and gentleness because we love people. We want to help them grow, but we have to speak the truth. So we speak the truth in love. In that, the result of that is we are to grow up in every way into Him, becoming more like Jesus, who is the head, into Christ. And that's just a reminder to us that the head of the church is not any man. It's not any leader outside of Jesus. He is the head of the church. Our entire goal is to become more and more like Him and to listen to Him more and more. And then he says in verse 16, there's another vital part of this spiritual growth. It's not just speaking the truth in love, but it says from Him, from whom, Jesus, the whole body joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, then the whole body grows so that it builds itself up in love. And so his emphasis here is that we only become what God intended us to be spiritually when everybody's working together. Everybody's doing their part. Every gifting, every person, every temperament, every individual is vital to spiritual growth. It's not just about having the right pastor or the right worship leader or the right administrator. The church can only become what Jesus called it to become when every person, every joint, as he says here, is working properly and doing their part. Then the body grows as it builds itself up. We're kind of building our own self up in love. So all of this is a reminder that God has called us to love, to grow, to become more and more like Christ. And that means having right relationships with one another. That means being humble towards each other. That means doing whatever our part is. And it means not exalting ourselves, but rather seeing every gift and every ability we have as something that God has undeservedly given to us in order to be a blessing to others. In the next section, which we'll start in the next devotional, Paul switches gears from focusing on inward relationships to outward moral behavior. Well, we'll see that when we get to our next devotional. Have a blessed day.